Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what to make of these reports that the Syrian government has used chemical weapons? Mike Barrett is now with us. He's currently the CEO of security consulting firm Diligent Innovations. Mike, you've said that there are three different ways to look at this claim. Lay those out if you would.
Sure. So the first one would be that Assad has actually gone ahead and decided to use the chemical weapons himself, so that the regime, if you will, gave the order. And that's particularly troubling because if Assad's given that order, then he's, authorizing the use, and we're going to see an awful lot more chemical weapons used in the near term here. There's another option, which is that some of his senior military leaders have decided to go ahead and use the weapons without his permission, which obviously shows that there's chaos in the ranks, and that would be very bad. And then, of course, the third one is that that the rebels have basically faked this incident in order to try to draw in outside forces, such as the U.S. and some of our allies. Also, that's not very good either. That could end up with us going in under false pretenses, and we've all been there before.
Yeah, we've said that there's a red line on that matter, and that last scenario makes sense. But is anyone in intelligence suggesting to you that one of those is the one they're leaning toward?
Well, I mean, again, this is right now we're in the middle of the fog of war. One of the big challenges with Syria is we just don't know who all the players are. We don't know what's happening on the ground. And while we have some pretty amazing intelligence gathering capabilities, the reality is people on the ground don't know. So when you hear a senior general from the Syrian side say something to one of his trusted confidants, you don't know if he's speaking truthfully or if he's misinformed as well. That's one of the things that happened to us in Iraq in terms of our assessment that they had plenty of weapons of mass destruction.
It seems as if, and you've said as much, that as long as this is a conventional weapons conflict, they're going to do it by themselves.
Yeah, and I think that, the U.S. should stay out of this. I mean, the numbers are appalling. 40,000 dead is a horrible number. On the flip side, look at Mexico and the drug war that's been going on our southern border for quite a while. I mean, the numbers are terrible, but us getting involved isn't going to make the numbers go down. Odds are that if a counter regime comes in, they're just going to kill all of the Assad forces. So we're going to see, we're going to see a death spike either way.
If and when the Assad regime falls, the unknown which follows it is something that I think has a lot of people in Washington and beyond very concerned.
Well, it does, and it should. I mean, look at what's happened in Egypt, right? I mean, Egypt has some weapons in military, but the military is still more or less, modernized as opposed to other parts of the regime, certainly as opposed to the Muslim Brotherhood. But in Syria, you're talking about rebel forces, some of whom are tied to al-Qaeda, we believe, having the world's third largest stockpile of chemical weapons. I mean, this is a truly dangerous situation. Understand that there's one side where you end up with al-Qaeda elements and chemical weapons, and that's a horrible outcome for Israel. On the other hand, this is why President Obama should not have come out so strongly and said Assad must go. At the end of the day, maybe stability would be a little bit better than some of the chaos that we're seeing.
Don't know yet. Mike Barrett, live in Washington. Mike, good to see you. Thanks.
Thanks, Shep.